February 3rd. I'm still Tom Murphy. I read the Piazza. It sounds like Thursday, Friday, Monday were equally good. So we'll make Friday the day that homework is due. Today's Friday. I'll give you some homework today. Won't be due today. I'll have it due in a couple of weeks. So you have plenty of time to play with it. Today I want to continue in Chapter 1 and play with a little bit of the material that you'll do when you go through the tutorials. You may have gotten through this far. If you have, please let me know in Piazza. And in fact, if I'm going too fast, too slow, please give me feedback so that I can match the speed and match the content that's going to help facilitate you doing beginning programming class analysis. A large part of it, since it's a distance ed class, does rest with you figuring out what works for helping you learn. You have the book. You can read the book. Piazza is a good place to ask questions, and I'll respond in Piazza, and I'll also respond in some sense via tapings like this, where I go through and demonstrate stuff. So, let's continue with our collaboration. So today I want to select one of the templates. I happen to be on the templates now. When you fire it up, it could be off here on tutorial or recent worlds or anything. I'm going to click templates, and let's click on grass. And I'll hit open. And as you'll hear, when I do a left mouse click, you'll see a red ball, and that'll fade away. When I do a right mouse click, it should show up as a green ball, and that'll help you be able to see what is normally something that doesn't make any noise. You just kind of click on the screen. So let's add something to our world. Just to review, over here we have the object tree. We have the details of specific things in the object tree. We have our world up in here that we can run, we can play up here by the play button. We have the actual code for our world down here. And up here is the events window, where there's special things that might happen, such as a key press or such as some action that takes place within the world. So here in the lower right-hand corner of the world menu, there's an Add Objects. Let's click on that. That changes everything. Well, sort of. The object tree is still here. The details in the object tree are over here. We do have a larger world showing up, and we have a gallery of animals down here. So I am going to slide along the animals. I know a bunch of the animals. Just double check which ones you might like. The one that's labeled a wolf over here, I don't like too much. I think there's a German Shepherd someplace that looks more like what I think of a wolf being. So I can click on that. Down here it says Add Instance to the World. It also gives me a sense of who created it, who painted it, how many parts are in it, how many moving parts, like legs and tails and feet, oh my. And then some of the actions you can do, like having it walk, sit, stand, bark, breathe, scratch, and all that sort of stuff. So I'm going to add the instance to the world. And it changes my look at the grass, pops the new object in there, and then fades back. Now, the arrow buttons down here don't move the object in the world, but it moves the camera. So here you can see this one says move the camera up, down, left, right. I put the cursor here, move the camera forward, backward, and turn the camera left or right. So I put it on the front arrow. I move closer to the wolf, the husky. Back arrow, move further away. And this is going to turn the camera towards the right. This will turn the camera towards the left. This will actually move the camera. Actually, I was going up and to the right. I meant to go just to the right. Let's go down and to the left. Now we can just move the camera off to the left, move the camera off to the right, move the camera down, and then this will rotate the camera angle. If I turn it this way and move closer now, I'm on an angle looking at the wolf. And this will rotate me back. So all of those are playing with the camera. It's nice to have the horizon there because you, like in real world, having the horizon helps you orient yourself. Now this is the Husky. And over here, and I click on the Husky and notice it put a bounding box around it. Shows the Husky highlighted in the object tree. And then here's the details of some of the things the Husky can do. These are the methods. We'll see properties later on. We'll see functions later on. But for right now, let's go over to this window over here on the far right. And notice there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 little buttons I can hit. The leftmost one is the one I'm on, which is the arrow button. And I can actually move the Husky anywhere around in the world. It's not moving it up in the air, but it is moving along on the ground anywhere I want by just moving the arrow around. Now notice if I click on the next button over where it shows the face, it says move objects up and down with a mouse. So now, same mouse move on the Husky, instead of moving it around on the ground, just moves it up and down. And if I try moving it to the side, it doesn't do it. All it does is go up and down. Notice, I can move the Husky right through the ground. There's no physics engine to this. You basically can move an object you have anywhere you want it to, and you have to be the one to figure out if it makes sense. Like if I leave the Husky up in the air, there's not a lot of flying Huskies around. But nevertheless, I can still do it. I can still have this Husky up in the air. Let's move it down a little bit lower. You can see right when that bottom corner of the bounding box starts to disappear, that's where I have the Husky on the ground. So I'll put the Husky back on the ground. Let's click the next one over, and I'll put the cursor on it. Notice it says turn objects left and right with the mouse. All of these are great things to explore, and which is what I'm doing now. Notice now with the mouse move, it's just spinning the Husky around as if that green bar that you can see in the middle of the Husky is what is actually a spike that the Husky is spinning around. And it kind of is. No Huskies were harmed. Next button over, it tells us turn objects forward and backward to the mouse. Now notice the Husky's pointing off to the side a little bit. Nevertheless, it is moving everything towards me or away from me or the camera. Not relative to the Husky, but relative to the camera looking at the Husky. So I can rotate the Husky so it's kind of half pointing up in the air with that. I take the next one over. This one's called, should be tumble. Let's see. Come on. Tumble objects with the mouse. This is kind of cool because you can move something in any angle you want, just depending on where you move your mouse. Now notice it's keeping the center of the Husky fixed where it is up in the air, but everything else is rotating around that. So let's put the Husky back about there. The next one over, you're going to like this one. Next one over is resize. Come on, show me resize. Sometimes the mouse, there we go, resize objects with the mouse. So I click on the Husky. If I move away, it gets big and moves towards the center, the other direction. I can have a really tiny dog. So let's make one that's a little bit bigger than normal. Warning! Resizing objects with poses may make those poses unusable. Okay. How do we know whether it does? Well, when we try, we may find out that it doesn't work, and we can always redo things. Notice I clicked on the second face, or the second button over, the first face on the left, far left, and I wanted to put the Husky so the feet were on the ground. And then the final one, it says, there's two faces there, copy objects with the mouse. If I put the mouse on the Husky and do a single click, poof, 2 Huskies. Poof, 3 Huskies. Now I'm going to right click, I'm going to put it back on the arrow, otherwise I would have been making more Huskies. I'm going to do a right click on the Husky. I get a menu that comes down. One of them is delete. And there's other things we can do that we'll play with. Oh, Husky's gone. Delete. Husky's gone. Left with 1 Husky. That's fine. Move the